he's very proud of his knockout abilities, and he wants to show everybody in the world what he can do. And I think this audience here is not enough for him. He wants to go up to Raw or SmackDown very, very soon, and you'll see him give his everything in every single match that he has done here.
Nice double leg
roll up by Ohno.
You see here, very unconventional roll up. He will reach down deep in his bag of tricks. Oh, man.
I know Kassius has spent a great deal of time in England and trained under the great Johnny Saint for a while there, which is something special.
On here again, lateral press.
Someone that I had the opportunity to travel with and be around a lot because we both lived in the same town.
It's very hard to figure out somebody like Kassius Ohno because he's trained in so many styles. As like you said, he is trained in the British catch kind style, and he's very versatile in it, as well as then that knockout blow that can come out of nowhere. But Garret Dillon here,
that's unique,
using his body.
Oh, knee cover as well. Almost got Kassius Ohno. What would it do for the career of Garret Dillon to defeat Kassius Ohno here tonight?
I think it will alert a lot of other competitors that he has to be taken seriously. And I think he does a very good game plan here in keeping Kassius Ohno grounded, because Kassius Ohno cannot hit that elbow, that knockout blow from a grounded position.
Dillon maybe taking a little too much time. Oh no, counters!
Very smart by Dillon so far, and he's using his body to his advantage.
Kassius, so many ways he can beat you once again. Shoulders down, but not enough. Garret Dillon almost sense frustration and confusion all in one as Kassius Ohno is on his feet and looking at his second win. Oh, wow. Multitude of chops, knockdowns. Perhaps Ohno revving up for that knockout blow that he loves to utilize.
Look at Garret Dillon though. Very fast for a man his size, I was just about to say, and then right on the button.
The fact that Garret Dillon is even still moving after a shot like that tells you a whole lot about how tough he is.
Oh, very smart move there. Very smart.
Oh, but watch Kassius. Wow. My goodness. And the punishment doesn't end even on the outside.
Careful there, Ohno has to be careful of James Bronson, who's lurking right around the corner there.
I think Ohno is well aware of James Bronson's location, and he's well aware of the target area, which is Garret Dillon. A dazed Garret Dillon.
Oh, look at this.
Oh,
knockout blow.
My. Did you hear that?
Here is your winner, Kassius Ohno.
Wow. That is all I can say is wow. Take a look at this. Kassius Ohno running up several times, this route on the outside, and setting up Garret Dillon for the Ohno blade. And back to live action, almost had a bit of a standoff there between James Bronson and Kassius Ohno. Folks, we continue to inch closer and closer to the answer of who is the man. Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose, Florida Heavyweight Championship tonight.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Introducing first, from Mexico City, Mexico, weighing 230 pounds, Benicio Salazar.
Well, much heralded Mexican superstar Benicio Salazar sporting a slightly different look this week.
You know, all his family used to wear masks, but he thinks he's too pretty for one. So
he covered his face with bandana instead.
Well, no, he's waiting for the big reveal.
Oh.
See? There it is. Look at that.
I think you should stick to the mask, to be honest with you.
his opponent from Minneapolis, Minnesota, weighing 320 pounds, Eric Rowan.
My goodness, look who's back.
You know, that's reindeer fur that he has on. He shot that reindeer with a bow and arrow in Norway. It's one shot.
I'm sure there wasn't much opposition after over 7 months on the injured reserve. Eric Rowan is back in action, and I would not like to be Benicio Salazar at the moment. Ooh.
That's just a big berserker right there.
Oh my goodness.
I just love seeing a good old-fashioned forearm smash.
Yeah, you don't see those very often.
No, you don't. And a monster like Eric Rowan, you know they're going to be
look out
brutally
here.
painful.
Watch out. Oh, hard crash landing for Benicio Salazar.
Here is your winner, Eric Rowan.
Well, Eric Rowan was out for over 7 months, but it took just a few moments to prove that he's back. Take a look at this choke slam, unforgiving and unrelenting onto Benicio Salazar.
Eric Rowan, an absolute monster, just knocked Benicio Salazar as bent as one of Quasimodo's coat hangers there.
Well, folks, we have been discussing it all night long, and the anticipation is nearly over. Who will leave the FCW arena with the Florida heavyweight title? Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose. Next.
That got me excited even more for the upcoming match. I've stood in the ring with both men, and I think we're in for a treat.
A treat is right. The most important prize in all of FCW is on the line right now. Well, folks, 2 weeks ago, Seth Rollins told Dean Ambrose, and I quote, "It's time for you to grow a set." And Dean Ambrose did just that. He went to our general manager, Summer Rae, laid down a challenge to the Florida heavyweight champion, and now that moment is here. Is that man the next Florida heavyweight champion? When Seth Rollins provided that aggressive advice to Dean Ambrose, little did he know that 2 weeks later, this would be the setting. The rematch of rematches. One more time to decide who is the man in Florida Championship Wrestling. A hush of excitement inside the FCW arena, growing anticipation about what we are about to see take place inside this squared circle.
Look at the eyes of Dean Ambrose.
Introducing first, he is the challenger from Cincinnati, Ohio, weighing 225 pounds, Dean Ambrose. And his opponent from Davenport, Iowa, weighing 209 pounds, he is the reigning Florida heavyweight champion, Seth Rollins.
One of the claims that Seth Rollins made 2 weeks ago was that Dean Ambrose was not focused, perhaps too hung up on you, William Regal. What are your thoughts right now as Dean Ambrose seemingly focused on one thing, the Florida Heavyweight Championship? What are your thoughts on his chances?
Dean Ambrose has obviously got just as much chance as anybody else. I'm in a strange situation here. I know exactly what it feels like to compete against Dean Ambrose. I know, and I've said this many times here, that I have a feeling, an instinct, that Dean Ambrose will be the man that finishes my career. It's a daunting thought that you're looking at the man that will end your run and put you out of an industry that you love. I don't know why I feel that, but I do feel that. And I'll be quite honest with you, I'm trying to prolong my being around because I still feel like I have something to contribute. And as gung-ho as I was originally to bait Dean Ambrose, sometimes you have to question yourself, is it the smart thing to do? The older I've got, the more I want to stay around a little longer. So, not quite yet. He's not having what he wants, and that's me.
Look at Dean Ambrose controlling Seth Rollins in the early going, which is, I think, what he wants. He wants to show the champion that, you know, he grew a pair, if you want to say it that way.
Well, and you got to remember, you know, the history these two men have. This goes back a year ago when Seth Rollins was the Jack Briscoe 15 champion. And the very moment that Dean Ambrose came onto the scene here in FCW, he challenged Seth Rollins, and those two had perhaps one of the most competitive series of competitive matches we've ever seen here. Watch out, cover. We've ever seen in the history of FCW, and once again now to see that rivalry renewed, but with higher stakes, the Florida Heavyweight Championship, and look immediately, Dean Ambrose perhaps looking for a submission of sorts on Seth Rollins.
Well, I think he just picks a body part and he will start to weaken it and make it to his advantage. And as you said, Dean Ambrose changes lives. He came down here and he started wrestling Seth Rollins, and that changed Seth Rollins' life. And my commentary partner here, Sir William Regal, it certainly changed his life, because I remember before he wrestled him first, he was kind of more upbeat, and now he's a little quiet over here after you stood in the ring with him. Isn't that right,
Folks,
William?
I apologize, but we've got to take a commercial break. We promise we will bring you the continuation of this Florida Heavyweight title match between Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose. We're back on FCW television. Florida Heavyweight title on the line. Seth Rollins versus Dean Ambrose. The energy in the FCW arena is at a fever pitch. Oh, hold on, cover here. Split down the middle between supporters of Dean Ambrose and supporters, watch out again, and supporters of Seth Rollins.
See Dean Ambrose going after the arm again, trying to weaken Seth Rollins here. There's a method to his madness. Look at that stalemate right here.
And,
look at the heads. See how the heads are interlocked, but they try to push each other back.
Each man looking for the added advantage that they can capture in the early going of this match. And I have to ask you, Antonio Cesaro, I mean, you've traveled a similar road that both Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins have prior to even joining the ranks of FCW. What motivates these two men?
Oh, they just want to be the best. Like, I am the best. They just want to be the best, and they'll do everything to prove it. And as you saw by Dean Ambrose, he doesn't stop at anything. And Seth Rollins, you see every time he comes out here, he shows you something new, and he has that fire. And that's what such competitive individuals, that's what they drive them. That's what makes them get up every single morning and work out even harder every single day. They want to be the best. They want to prove it to everybody.
Do you know one thing that is very surprising to anyone that's watching Dean Ambrose here is that, to put it bluntly, he comes across as somewhat of a mental case.
No cover.
And there's no way that you can be as warped as this individual and be such a skilled grappler as he is, as we're seeing here. You know, he obviously he likes to play into that role that he